Hello everyone, so today I wanted to address how you can beat jet lag. Having jet lag means that your body is out of sync with the time zone that you are in. You might not notice now, but your body has a very strong internal clock that helps you function. So if you go to a place that basically throws that upside down, your body is going to be a bit upset. Lots of people see jet lag as being tired, but it can be so much more, from having headaches to literally being physically sick. Now I'll share some tips and tricks that I have used personally to beat jet lag, but also things that I have researched online. Now the first thing that I would recommend you is something that I've been told by my traveling buddies, which is plan your flight so you arrive in the late afternoon or the evening. Why? You're gonna be tuckered out anyway. It really doesn't matter if you fly for 10 hours or for 14 hours or for 24 hours. You're gonna be just tired and done with the day when you arrive. So if you make sure you only have to keep yourself awake for a couple of hours to go to bed at a reasonable time, that will help you settle into a rhythm. When I was reading up online, the experts actually told you to arrive in the morning so that the sun will help reset your body clock. But however, that does mean you have to keep yourself awake for another 8 to 10 hours after you've traveled for 10 to 24 hours, which is very hard to do. So I would recommend to just make sure you land in the late afternoon or the evening so you can just go to bed because you're gonna be tired. You might have noticed I'm talking a lot about long flights, and that is because jet lag is obviously much more of a problem if you actually travel multiple time zones. They were actually saying that you won't feel jet lag until you cross at least 2 time zones. So if you're traveling within Europe or something and you're from Europe, you won't really have to deal a lot with jet lag. But if you're flying from Europe to Australia, for example, you're gonna have to deal with jet lag. Another thing that I've learned from my online research is that when you fly from west to east, it's much harder on your body than if you fly east to west. Now I didn't really have a lot of choice because all the flights that go from the Netherlands to Australia go east. So I just had to deal with that. But it did mean that I basically lost a whole day. And that obviously is gonna mean that your body is going to be upset. So what you want to do with the time on the plane is use that time to adjust yourself to the time zone you're going through. As soon as you enter the plane, forget the time zone you just came from. Even if it's 10 in the morning, if it's 10 in the evening in the place you're going to, you're just gonna have some food and get a nap. And the other way around, if you are flying in the evening but the place you're going to it's daytime there, keep yourself awake until it's the appropriate time there to go to sleep. It might actually help you greatly to start adjusting a few days before. For example, start going to bed earlier to adjust to the time zone you're going to be in. Wake up earlier if that's more appropriate. So shift your sleeping pattern before you leave as well. That being said, always have a good night's sleep before your flight. It doesn't matter what time zone it's going to be in. Make sure you get enough sleep. If you know you're going to be sleeping on the plane, even though your flight is at 10 or 11 in the morning, make sure you wake up early. So instead of pulling an all-nighter or something like that to make yourself tired, just go to bed at 10 o'clock, wake up at like 5 or 6. Don't sleep in because you have like a later flight. Try to keep a bit of a normal schedule and then adjust to the time zone when you're in the plane. So while in the plane, choosing a seat can actually be quite important. For me, myself, I always have to go to the bathroom. I'm one of those people, so I prefer to have a seat at the walkway. Even though I love views and I do regret missing them every time I fly, I need to have the space to just get up whenever I want. However, to help me sleep, I use a neck pillow and an eye mask. Especially the eye mask helped so much. I didn't have that the first 2 times I flew. That eye mask is wondrous. And also the neck pillow really helps. But whenever you can, if you know you're gonna be sleeping on a plane, do make sure you get a reclining seat. So for example, the last rows or like the exit rows often don't have reclining seats. So try and make sure that you have a seat that actually reclines. And also if you're like really tall, just go for the ones with the extra leg space because it's going to make you so much more comfortable. Now while on the plane, next to getting enough sleep in the right time zone, you also want to stay hydrated. This might be a bit difficult. That's one of the reasons why I always take an aisle seat, because I have to go to the bathroom a lot, but I also want to get enough water because I get headaches a lot and you just feel parched, the air is dry. So make sure you keep hydrated. Actually stay away from coffee and alcohol. Like I know some people whose vacation doesn't start until they get that like airplane beer, but it does dehydrate you even more. So it's really not great. Plus, you know, bathroom breaks. And with all this airplane advice, I have one really big tip, which is choose a proper airline. If you have a long haul flight, forget about the budget ones because you're gonna be miserable. You want to have free water, you want to have a nice reclining seat instead of, you know, having not enough leg room, not getting any service and just being miserable for 12 hours. Airlines that are quite good on long haul flights are Emirates, Qantas, Air New Zealand, Singapore Airlines and Virgin Atlantic. I've flown with like 3 or 4 of those and they're great. They're often quite direct flights as well, so you just have a small stopover and then you can continue your flight. Another thing you want to be wary of while you're on the plane is the airplane food, because it's very high in sugars and carbs. Personally, I didn't really know this was the problem until I read up about it online. I always get sick. Like, after the first meal, I feel bloated, I get nauseous, it's just terrible. I actually shouldn't be eating on planes. Because being on that high of an altitude, it actually changes your metabolism, food tastes different, plus the food that they serve you isn't really great for digestion. So you might want to either bring some like snacks yourself, like some small muesli bars or something like that to help sustain you, or just eat a small amount and please stay away from the sugary stuff. And lastly, after you land, adjust to the time zone as quickly as possible. Try not to take those naps at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because you're tired. I've been guilty of that, but I did have the I luckily didn't have to do anything, so I could kind of get away with it. But you should try to avoid those naps. Just adjust to the time zone as quickly as possible and use the sun to your advantage, because the sun actually helps reset your body clock. So go outside when it's daytime, catch those sun rays and you will adjust a lot quicker. So I hope this was helpful, especially for you first timers who haven't had a long flight yet and are dreading it already. It's quite an adventure. Just try to enjoy it and don't stress too much. Keep these tips in mind and I'm sure you will be fine. If I was helpful, please leave me a thumbs up so I know I'm doing a good job. And other than that, thank you very much for watching and I will see you guys very soon. Bye!